Hello.
Hi.
So we had a special day. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
And we thought this would be a great moment to share with you how we got to know each other.
So, roughly 2 years ago, we matched on Tinder.
So I think we were both at a point where we thought we leave Tinder behind and look for that special person somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then
She came up.
and then we used it one more time.
Yeah, one last time.
One last time. And that was in January
28th of January.
28th of January 2019.
Yeah.
And that was the day that changed, the date that changed everything. But I was a very shy Tinder girl.
Yes, she was.
Because we weren't the kind of people that write short messages and keep this conversation going, because we always send, I don't know, like a whole novel.
Yeah.
Once a day or twice a day.
Yes.
For how long did that go?
Yeah, roughly 2 weeks.
2
yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
But I think we have to start somewhere else. Because, so, Ilse had this quote on her profile. It was actually the only information I think she had. And it said...
As I quoted the lyrics and said, "We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy."
Yeah, and that was my clue. So I thought, okay, she's a crazy girl, I like that. And so I texted her first and I asked, what was the craziest thing you did recently? And
Yes.
she said...
I said, I went
to Paris.
To Paris.
She doesn't even remember.
To help a good friend of mine with a date, to be there for her when
if the date goes wrong.
If the date goes wrong, yeah, that was a lie. I don't know why I did that, because that was so, I don't know. She texted me and I was like, I was so over Tinder, I don't know, and then I got this question, what was the craziest thing, and I couldn't come up with anything. So I just made that up. Yes.
Yeah. So basically our relationship is based
on a lie.
Yeah. And it took me a while to figure that out, because in the beginning I just didn't question it and I thought, wow, that's a really cool friend. And yeah, so a few months later, maybe half a year, I realized, who was that friend? And I asked her, so who was that friend? Because by then I knew all her friends, or at least about her friends. And I couldn't imagine who would be that person. And I asked her and she said, I lied.
I said, I don't know. I was totally, I thought, oh. Because we never talked about it again. I think this was the first question. We talked about it like one sentence or two sentences, and then our conversation went to something else, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know why I said it. That was the start, and then our conversations went to in another direction. So we talked about everything.
Yeah.
I noticed that she was very good with the grammar. That's a rare thing too, which I think is important. So I definitely noticed that, and I liked that a lot, because it seems like there was a intelligent person talking to me. Oh yeah, we talked for a long 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very experienced with all the Tinder stuff, so I don't know, I was pretty much working a lot at that time, so I didn't really ask the question, shall we meet now? But I enjoyed those conversations a lot, and I just let it flow.
Yeah.
So one day she asked me if we should meet, and I was like and then we met.
Yeah. And we shortly discussed where to go and settled on a Thai restaurant I really love. and she didn't know that.
No. And we wanted to meet in front of that restaurant. And I mean, we both are living in Cologne, and I basically grew up around the corner. You lived in Cologne for many years by that time. But we found each other standing there with our phone with Google Maps on it because we couldn't find that. I couldn't find that restaurant because I'm really, really bad with directions.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've been there before. When we met there, I was a bit early, so I went in and I was like, yeah, well, you have a table for two. And of course, they didn't. And I think we met around 7:30 or something like that. And they told us, yeah, well, around 10 there might be a table. And that obviously was not an option. And so we decided to just try any restaurant that sounds nice, and we settled on a reminisced restaurant. And then using Google Maps, of course, we went there. It was empty. I think when we arrived, no one was there.
No.
And then
later one person came in.
a couple.
Oh, a couple came in.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
Okay-ish, yes.
I mean, it didn't matter in the end. But
Yeah. I mean, that restaurant will always have a
special spots, special place in our hearts.
Yeah, but not because of the food.
Yeah.
Or the atmosphere.
Yeah. So that was our first date.
Yeah. And then it actually took us 10 days to go on our second date. We were in contact the entire time in between. And I think we were just both super busy and had weekend plans.
Yeah, that was around Carnival.
Yeah, it was right before.
Right before Carnival. So lots of planning, social events, and that had already been settled like weeks ago, so we had lots of stuff to do. And I remember coming home from our first date, and I wanted to tell you that I liked it, and I logged into Tinder and typed my text that I thought it was a nice evening and blah 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 blah. And it took you ages to answer to that because your app wouldn't show you notifications.
Yeah, it was supposed
So
to.
I thought that was it. I just
Yeah.
threw it out.
No.
Yeah. But on our second date, she found a nice walk, a nice tour through Cologne, through the sculpture park that we wrote about in our blog. And that was very nice because I think it's better to just go for a walk or something to really get to know each other, because if you go to the movies or something, you wouldn't actually talk to each other. So,
Yeah.
And that was always a good thing because we would never stop talking. We just talked about every topic and all the time.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yes.
And I brought these filled donuts, Berliner for the German folks. And at some point we sat down in a park and we ate them. And Ilse is not the most proficient
Talented
eater.
I'm not the most talented eater because, well.
And so she smeared practically all of the filling.
I bit in it
across
and
the
then
cheese. Yeah.
so I was basically sitting there like, oh no,
Yeah.
no,
Don't look at me, don't look at me. And I found that so sweet and adorable, and that's the moment I fell for her. Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh my god.
It's over now!
Yes, and after that nice walk and very tasty donuts, we went to a
Queer bar
here in Cologne, which is now almost next to our place.
And so both of us hadn't been there before. We explored that one together.
Yes, and we didn't eat anything beside the donuts.
Yeah.
And we probably thought we just go in there to have a cocktail, and
like
because
just
they have a
one.
huge list of cocktails in there, and very good cocktails. So we thought we were just gonna have one or something.
And I think so.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did.
Time flew by because suddenly we were having like 10ish or 11.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous because obviously we knew we liked each other a lot, so there was this moment before the next step. So I was so shy because I didn't have that much experience whatsoever, so we just drank like one cocktail after the other to get a little courage.
And then she kissed me.
Yeah, then it was me.
Yeah.
Because you probably wouldn't have done it.
At some point, probably. But,
After 6 more cocktails, maybe. Yes.
And then I would have been dead. Probably.
Yes. So that was obviously a special moment. So that's because we settled our date anniversary to that day, to that 20th of February.
Yeah.
Because that marks, I think we were both sure that we wanted to spend more time with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how we met.
That's our story, yes.
Yeah. So that's how it started.
Exactly.
Share your love story.
Share your love story because we really would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our love story, and we are sure it will be a never-ending one.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Take care, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I was probably spinning in a circle myself because I always try to look in which direction I have to go.
Alright, there's this small error, and sometimes if Google Maps gets confused, you probably know that you have to recalibrate.
Recalibrate, that's the English word. I was looking for that. I would say zentrieren because we're in Germany. I was zentriering the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, yeah.
And